All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for the patience. I hope you're all doing well. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to this week's webinar. I'm your host, Ian Bellina. If you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A and then vote up the questions you want me to answer the most, and I'll go through and answer those questions. I already see some questions being posted, which is good. Let me pull up my screen and we'll go through a market update. Okay, let me share screen. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, can you all see my screen fine? Okay. All right. Wow. Actually, this is actually my first time saying this this morning. Was in between calls. But wow, this is a bearish signal, 17th of March. Which kind of makes sense. The market has slowed down. We're down to 78%. So we're back to risk off. That is big. Obviously, the market has been pretty on fire the last month or so. Ever since we were at 1.9 trillion total market cap back on February 8th to mid-March, so a month and a half. So we've gained basically 800 billion in total market cap. And it was risk on, full altcoin season, BGN mode, not quite altcoin season, but basically we could be risk on. Now we're back to being risk off. What does that mean? That means now is the time to look at your portfolio and do a portfolio audit and say, okay, maybe I got into this because the market was frothy, things were all green. If this lasts a long time, a week, a month, even longer, who knows? Are these tokens you want to be holding through a risk-off environment? And that's where some tokens might change in your portfolio, right? Because the game of musical chairs has, in essence, stopped. The music has stopped. The party could be over. Not quite over, but it could be over. Long term, I don't think it's over, but I think this is a healthy correction. So you have to really do some portfolio soul searching. Because if we come down, actually looking at this, yeah, this has fallen off a cliff. If we zoom in here, okay, maybe not quite that much. It just looks more volatile when you do the max view. And we basically came out, we peaked around kind of here in the middle. Now we're back to Bitcoin, having most of the returns, most of the gains. And everything is under 70% in terms of sector grades. So there's a lot of red, there's a lot of blood. But in a way, that's kind of to be expected. But really, it's now back to being risk off and being very conservative and strategic with what you're holding in your portfolio. So honestly, if we have a bearish signal, it doesn't really make sense to be trading too much. Actually, let's first go to the indices. All right. Yeah, so they're holding a whole bunch of, it seems random coins and meme coins. I'm seeing CyberConnect and Aerodrome. But in essence, right now is really a time to be very cautious. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the indices. And same thing with the ratings. looking at this, there's still some tokens in the 90s, but I would not really be trading too much. Yeah, so actually let's go to hidden gems. Let me just sign in. Okay, all right, so for hidden gems for this week, let me put this in the chat. We've been seeing, or rather hearing a lot about Bitcoin restaking. So in essence, think the eigenlayer for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to be a big narrative, of course. It's the top cryptocurrency out there in terms of market cap and FDV, and the first one. And we've seen what's happened with Ethereum and ETH restaking. But what about BTC restaking? So some interesting projects we've come across include BounceBit, which scored very high for an early stage project in terms of fundamentals at 75%. In essence, it's BTC restaking. Investors include Briar Capital, Blockchain Capital, DAO5, NGC. I think those are the big ones. We've got Uprock, which is a Deepin project. So we'll pull that one up. We've got Andrina, a very interesting project, Deepin project as well. This one, I believe our fund is currently in talks with them, possibly about investing. It's kind of similar to Helium. Master Protocol, this scored 65%. Also Bitcoin restaking. This one, our fund is in the final stages of investing in them. So this we do plan to invest in. Lorenzo, a Bitcoin L2. So basically, Bitcoin is a big narrative here. So let me pull up all these projects here and kind of walk you guys through them. Okay, BounceBit. Earn yield from idle BTC with BounceBit BTC restaking. So taking the same thing people are doing on Ethereum with Eigenlayer and adding restaking or bringing restaking to Bitcoin, right? Pretty notable investor list. You have Calvin from Eigenlayer, who's an angel investor, and Jesse as well. So definitely worth keeping an eye on this. This could become a big narrative this cycle. Mainnet launches for April, according to their website. Okay, let me just move some things out of the way here. Okay, yeah, so this is, in essence, BounceBit. Worth keeping an eye on. Let me see if I can share the code review with you guys, because some of these have not been published because it's still very early stage. And I don't think all of them had open source code, but I think some did. Where's this? Okay, sorry, just give me a minute here. Yeah, BounceBit, there is no code review yet. Let me actually switch to Master Protocol, because this is also a Bitcoin project. So this is the link. Modularized restaking protocol tailored to all LSTs, liquid staking tokens, right? This one is very interesting. Let me just pull up. So they have mainnet launch planned for Q3 and TGE, token generation event. Let me just pull up the info here. So basically, we think we definitely want some exposure to the whole Bitcoin narrative in our portfolio. We do have mint layer on public markets, but in terms of venture, we haven't really invested in many projects. This one kind of had good fundamentals. Let me see if they have the team info here. Okay, I guess they do not. Let me pull up their deck on the VC side, since this will have more information. Yeah, so what they're planning to do basically is bring modularized restaking to Bitcoin, right? Provide built-in, let me get a better diagram. So this is basically how it works, right? So you have Babylon, Merlin Chain, BEVM, which is Bitcoin EVM. So all these basically can provide the LSTs to master protocol and then earn yield. So pretty innovative that people are doing all these things now with Bitcoin and Bitcoin L2s. So Bitcoin is really becoming its own formidable DeFi ecosystem. I will drop the deck here, but the deck was already shared in the VIP channel. If anybody's interested in this project, yeah, seems interesting. Work in the final phases of confirming our investment. So that's a hidden gem. There was a third one. Let me just pull this up. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to hop on a VPN for this one. Just bear with me for a minute. Okay, so this other one is called Lorenzo Protocol. Also a hidden gem. We'll drop the link in the chat. Lorenzo, let's see. This one is so in fundamentals, not as high as Master Protocol and BounceBit, but it's also an early stage venture project, so it hasn't launched yet. Look at staking Bitcoin L2 as a service. And basically, they're doing the same thing with modular Bitcoin that they're doing with modular Ethereum. So keep this on your list. Investors, NGC Ventures, Binance Labs, MH Ventures, but also very, very early stage. Then we've got Uprock. Basically, share your internet and earn passive income, get airdrops. So they claim basically this is where AI meets open data. People power data rewards network. So you basically download their app and you can start earning rewards. So basically, it seems like a place to earn airdrops. I will put this here in the list. So if anybody is looking for airdrops, this could be, if I go back here. Yeah, basically it's a way to earn airdrops for different AI projects. Let me skip straight on to Andrina. This is one we're looking at on the venture side. We've not invested yet, but we are in discussions to potentially invest. It does seem pretty interesting. It's basically a traditional business that's kind of tokenizing, similar to how Helium was a traditional business, then pivoted to Web3 or crypto. And basically the claim is the internet as it should be, get online in 3 minutes. So basically having affordable internet globally, up to 2 gigabytes per second. So very interesting concept. Helium has done the same thing with mobile. Basically now, actually even this week, Helium announced a Helium International plan. So now you can go anywhere in the world, I believe, and get mobile access. But they're claiming to want to do the same thing for the internet. So I'm gonna pull up I believe I have the deck. I think, yeah, deck will have more information. Yeah, so basically building the physical Web3. I just move this up. There we go. Okay, so their goal is to build a decentralized entire physical internet infrastructure, right? So basically it's Helium for the internet. Let me just skip all this stuff here. So basically they're trying to target the last mile by making it fully decentralized, last mile for the internet. And each home and building will be equipped with internet and data center hardware. So think Helium you had the hotspots. With them, I believe you basically have this hardware, kind of looks like a antenna, satellite dish. And in essence, this is their business model. But we're not going to go through each part of the deck. Deck has already been shared with VIP. So basically, this is kind of the interesting thing is they already have revenue, right? So it's not just like this is why I love DeepIn. DeepIn, you get more real businesses. It's not like these pre-sales on Solana, because for physical infrastructure projects, you have to already have capital to really do the physical hardware part. And the team already has a great investor list. Dragonfly led the last round, and I think even the second round they're leading. Team comes from Google Fiber, AT&T, Verizon. Let me just skip through most of this. But in essence, very interesting project. Keep an eye on this. Let me see if I have the fundraise details. I think they're raising 80 million pre-money, safe. But this could be the next big DeepIn project. So keep an eye out on this. I already shared this in the chat. Okay, and deep dive, we've covered Nimble before. Scored well on tech. Our fund invested, the quote review was 87%, basically building composable AI. So in a way, competed with BitTensor. You can go through the whole deep dive. And then the new code review we posted was on Alex, another Bitcoin project. Basically DeFi for Bitcoin. Code review score for this was 87%. So very, very impressive. But in essence, it's Bitcoin season with all these different projects. So Bitcoin is definitely building a thriving ecosystem. In terms of our most recent investments, let me see if I can share some of these. Okay, just give me a second. I'm not sure why it's not pulling up. Let me just pull up something else. Okay, so most recent investments on the venture side, I've covered this before. We invested in Zero Gravity Labs. I'll put the link here. Basically, some modular AI chain. So think data availability, think like Avail, like Celestia, but targeting data and AI. Interesting project. We invested in Ojo Network, oracles for the interchain. All these are venture, all these have not launched yet. And then the most recent investment we made is a gaming project again, called Kororo Beasts. We haven't really invested in too many gaming projects. It's a category people I know love, but we kind of like to take more of a sniper approach. We don't invest in many, but when we see those with traction, we do end up making an investment. This is one we've been keeping tabs on for a while. It's already trending on Twitter and socials. Let me just see if I can pull up their data. So already has, according to SimilarWeb, almost 200,000 views a month. The deck for this was shared in the VIP channel, but this is our most recent project investment. And this was at a $25 million FDV. So I'll put that in the chat. They'll be tokenizing soon. I believe they're built on Arbitrum, or they're partnering with Arbitrum on this. Then we have a few others in the works, as I've mentioned. We're looking at Andrina. We're looking at Master Protocol and the phases of finalizing Master Protocol. And yeah, those are pretty much the most recent investments. Let me now switch over to, if you want to follow our portfolio, just you can always go to the website here. Typically, this gets updated, I would say every week or two. Definitely within a month. Like right now, it's still at Nimble and Pixels. Parso just, and I think they're in the final phases of phase 3 for the airdrop program. I believe they're still slated to launch in April. At least when we spoke with the team a month or so back, that was kind of what they told us. So I think things have basically stayed the same. But yeah, let's go to Q&A. First question. Hello, Ian. I want to ask, what action is needed to take when a tokenmetrics gives a signal of bearish? And can we update the new 15 token list like last time? So, I mean, when it's bearish, it's risk off. That means do some portfolio soul searching and ask yourself, is this a token you want to hold long term? So I can't tell you what to do, right? But typically it means it's time to sell, right? That's if you're trading, definitely time to sell. If you're long-term value investing, probably means potentially could be a time to buy the dip. So it depends on what your time horizon is. If you're just in it for the trade, it's definitely time to sell. Let's pick an example. Let's do a large cap. Let's do Solana. Right, Solana is at 172. It dipped below like 100. Right, let me hide the trader grade. Basically, I mean, just look at the chart, right? If it's bullish, you buy 23 bucks. Bearish, you sell or take profits. Almost 90 bucks. Then it turned bearish again at 100. And I'm sorry, it turned bullish again, and it's still bullish. So there's still money to be made. So I'd call this basically swing trading. And that's basically it, right? So if we take, let me see what other token we can get. Let's just do BTC. So even though the market is bearish, some individual tokens are still bullish. So like looking at BTC, basically turn bullish at 26, 27K, bearish 43K, went sideways, bullish 43K. So it still makes sense to have Bitcoin in the portfolio if you want Bitcoin, right? Because everybody can have different assets in the portfolio. So I would just look at this for all the 15 tokens, if you have 15 tokens in your portfolio, and see which ones are bearish. If there's some that are bearish and you don't want to hold them through this bearish trend, let's do a new one we covered recently, a Cross Protocol, which has had a pretty good run. It's still under 100 million market cap, FTV under 300 million. So let me clean this up. Yeah, turned bullish at 5 cents, bearish 14 cents, then bullish again 16 cents. So really the question is, are you a swing trader? If you're a swing trader, then just follow the signals. All right. Now, bear in mind, sometimes the signals are wrong. They're not always right. We try to get them right, but they're not perfect. Right? They're not going to call every altcoin perfectly in crypto. It is crypto still. So the question is, we're trying to prevent you from a potential large crash or correction. So the question is, do you want to get out and wait for the storm to calm down before getting back in? Or are you a kind of investor that's willing to weather the storm? And that's the soul searching I'm talking about. Because if you're willing, if you say, hey, you know what, I'm in this long term, I think a Cross Protocol is gonna do 50x, 100x, all these different ups and downs are are minimal, then you just hodl or maybe even buy the dip. Right? That's kind of the way I would look at it. So if you are a fair weather trader or investor, follow the signal. If you're not, then hodl. I mean, I'm definitely going to make an update on the 15 token list, but to be honest, like it's not something you kind of force. There aren't going to be 15 new 100x's every month. Like those took us looking at over 600 tokens and finding those that had good fundamentals or tech or both that were under $100 million market cap. So I definitely do want to make a video again, but it's not something I can force. Is it possible to include the base and moon case on the code review page for the tokens or coins that get the code reviews? To put a target, I mean, we can definitely look into it, but some of these projects haven't launched yet. So it's going to be hard for doing that. If anything, I would probably just use the platform for tokens that are trading. Do you think accumulating Joystream is worthwhile at this point? Let's take a look. Currently at 2.2 cents. All right, turn bullish back in August, bearish January, and basically at 3 cents, then turned bullish again, then the market crashed. I mean, based on this signal, yes. If the signal changes back to bearish, then no. But as of now, yeah, could be a time to accumulate. Can you walk us through how you would use the TradingView signal for long term? Let me see if I'm logged into TradingView. I think I was having issues with my account. You just give me a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, so looks like it's pulled up. I mean, so this is so we have the tokenomics indicator. Anybody can get this by just going to your settings page. Well, not anybody, but I think advanced and above. If you just go to your settings page, so basically you go to top right settings. So let me just pull this up on my end. Then you just basically add your username here, which will be your username on TradingView or your email, I believe. And then it's going to invite you to the indicator of, sorry, just give me a second here. Yeah, so it's going to invite you, go to invite only, and it will have the indicators here, tokenomics indicator. And I mean, long term is pretty straightforward. When it's green, it's bullish. When it's red, it's bearish. All right, buy when, kind of like our platform, buy when it's green, sell when it's red, if you're trading on TradingView. And then it also gives you a signal, right? Like whether it's going long or closing. Like if we zoom in here, we can see there was a brief moment where it turned red. So it closed, then it turned green again, and it went long again. So literally that's how you use it. Not really. I have a full video on this on YouTube, basically walking through how to use our TradingView indicator, but it's pretty much this. Like, let's try BTC. Let's use Coinbase. So, I mean, we're still in green. Now you can come here and kind of configure this and stuff. You can come here, right? So if you click the little like gear icon, long-term strategy is what I prefer because it kind of gives you the long-term strategy, looking at daily candlesticks or longer, and pretty much just keep it simple. Green is bullish, red, you take profits, get out, go short if that's your thing, although I would be cautious with that. And just do that with all the different cryptocurrencies on TradingView. What's the criteria to become a VIP besides being an accredited investor? Unfortunately, so just apply. We go through applications every now and then. Right now, we kind of are pretty good with the amount of people we have in the VIP group because we want to keep it not too big. But we do, or I go through every week or two and kind of look at the applications. Main thing is just make sure you put in a really good application. And that's pretty much it. And you have to be able to invest more than 10K per SPV deal. And we look for people who can invest quickly because we've had some people kind of slow down our SPVs. So if if we make any changes, if we have any openings available, we'll definitely reach out. Good morning, everybody. Have you heard about Accurast? They recently partnered with Peak. You can become a processor using an old device in mind. No, I have not. Actually, speaking of that, I forgot about an investment we made. We've talked about this as well. It was a Hidden Gems project. But our fund invested in Koi Network, another AI project. This is very, very interesting. I've been mining this. Now I'm mining this on 2 devices. Yeah, it was Hidden Gems back in February. So I just want to pull this up so people say that know that we've covered this before. But basically, I am mining this. I mean, AI is going to be a big category. Everybody kind of knows that because of ChatGPT and OpenAI. But this is a project that I think makes sense. We had a call with the team, then we finalized our investment. But I kind of share with you what I've learned basically right now they're doing a test net or some kind of incentive program on CoinList. They are in the process of closing this current fundraise at a $100 million valuation. Basically, what they told us is they're forking Solana as an L1 and basically creating an L1 for AI with nodes. So you basically download this desktop application. Let me see if I could share mine. Okay, just give me one minute here to pull it up. But I began mining on one device, my Mac Mini, and now I'm also mining on my laptop. So I have it scheduled to mine when I'm not using my desktop computer, but my laptop is mining all the time. So I am trying to double dip and earn these tokens. But I mean, it's a pretty straightforward model. If I just close all this stuff here. But this is what it looks like. In essence, you download the desktop application. They have different tasks, and you use your computer's resources to mine and the off hours, and you earn crypto. So it's pretty simple. You earn crypto for having your computer run AI applications or tasks, not applications, but tasks in the background. Like I've already earned 42 koi. Now, I don't know what the value of this is, but it's pretty straightforward. If you have a computer, I would just run it and have it run when you're not using it. So like if I go to automate node, this is what I have on my desktop. So basically when I'm out of the office, from 5 p.m. to 8 a.m. every week or every day of the week, it's mining. So I mean, this is pretty straightforward. There'll be an airdrop. This is one of I'm mining. The other one I've shared is Grass. Grass just they've been blowing up. If I go back to the browser here. But basically all these are free AI coins with airdrops, right? So we have Coin Network. If I pull up Grass, Grass is kind of doing the same thing, but in a browser extension. You basically mine it inside your browser. Website is getgrass.io. And basically this is how it works. You come here, you have an extension. Mine's not working because I'm on VPN. Now, I'm not sure if you need a referral or invite code for some of these still. Now, I know for Grass you had to have one. Let me take a look. I'll just put invite codes in the chat for anybody that needs them. For Koi, let me see. Okay, I put both. I'm not sure how many I get, but anybody can just use those. But I mean, all these are airdrops, right? I think Grass is going to be huge. If you go to their Twitter or X, I still call it Twitter. Let me just switch accounts here. So we'll call this just to show you an idea of how big Grass could be. They're basically building a layer 2 data rollup, right? And they're also building on Solana. So Grass is building on Solana. Koi is forking Solana and becoming its own AI L1. I mean, layer 1 AI with airdrop, I think you kind of get the idea. It's going to be pretty big in crypto, right? Think like kind of like, I wouldn't say BitTensor big, but layer 1 and AI and airdrop is a pretty big narrative. Grass is basically layer two data rollup and AI and Sol. They already have a large following. This last post, uh, last week, March 12th, has over 2 million impressions, right? When they announced that there'll be a layer two data rollup. So definitely keep an eye on this. Uh, and keep an eye on Koi. I haven't checked their Twitter. Yeah, this is basically Koi. But I mean, these are definitely worth keeping an eye on. Now, the project you were talking about, Acurast, I have not heard of. Let's see here. Okay, see it's already on CoinGecko as well. Okay, it hasn't launched yet. Preview mode only. Decentralized serverless cloud. Transforming a cloud landscape, mobile powered distribution. Okay, so you provided via the phone. I will definitely have our team look into this one. It reminds me of Nodle, which was kind of like the Helium using Bluetooth. But let me just share this with our team. Um, Now looking at their products, let's see. Compute, crawl, data feed. Reminds me of StackOS, one of our portfolio investments, and also the other one. There was one that was trading that we covered before. Um, Let me see if I can find it. Give me 1 second. OPSEC, I believe, was the other one. So it sounds kind of similar. Okay, when is the token metrics token coming out, and how will the airdrop be distributed to Astrobot holders, meaning basic Astrobot compared to premium, looking for the value of the bots going into the bull run besides just a subscription to TM? So we've officially onboarded with a KYC provider, so we should be anybody that filled out the form. Let me get the form for those who did not get access to it. Will be contacted to KYC. Once you go through KYC, unfortunately, we can't take US investors. Once you go through KYC, then we'll send a SAFT. But basically, this month is when the raise is starting. Let me just get the info to convertings. So if you're interested in investing, just fill that out. Basically, Astrobot holders will be part of the airdrop campaign. We definitely want to provide long-term incentives to the people who've been with us since the beginning and believed in us the most. So stay tuned. There'll be more info on all that, but if you're an Astrobot holder, it's definitely a good thing. And then there've also been changes to the vesting. If you go through the form, there is a deck. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Just give me a minute. I don't think that's been updated. I would talk with the team. But in essence, the vesting has been made 2% of tokens on token generation event, which we're aiming to be sometime in Q2. I would say probably before June, July. And then 6-month cliff, and then tokens will vest weekly over 30 months. But yeah, very, very excited. This is something we've been working on for a bit. So stay tuned. But if you filled out the form, our team will be in touch. We're just kind of been going through looking at the applicants. And yeah, we'll have more information. Just bear with us. Just look out for an email to KYC. It'll be from Fractal. Fractal is a KYC provider. Actually, I think I can just pull up. You can see what it looks like. So you guys know it's not a phishing link. Yeah, so basically it looked like this. This is the actual page. But yeah, this is what it's going to be sent out to everybody that filled out the form. And I think it's actually already live. So if you already filled out the form, you can begin KYC here. Just click that link. Okay, all right. That's the same question. Any tokens to look into on Solana? I mean, trading wise, it's pretty much been meme coin season. I'll let you guys handle that with the trading view indicator or just the trader signal. Airdrop wise, Grass, which I covered. Koi is kind of a Solana fork, but customized just for AI. Outside of that, nothing else is coming to mind currently. Any tokens on base that we should keep on our radar? I've been hearing a lot about people speculating on base, but I've not looked at any tokens on base. Sorry to ask this question again, but really concerned about AstroDAO progress. Still waiting patiently by staking through those 70% down. Please share good news. The good news is we're getting closer and closer to the launchpad. I think one of the challenges with AstroDAO is that it was an airdrop project. So obviously it's been very challenging for it to kind of, in essence, just scale up in terms of staff. And hiring developer talent in a bull run is not cheap. But in essence, now that issue has been resolved, now the team and the new devs are working very, very actively, daily. So there's definitely lots of progress being made. And then they're in the process, they just hired somebody to help with just community and marketing. So things are getting better. That's all I can really say. I know it's been not the easiest, but things are getting better. What are your thoughts on yesterday's Parso announcement regarding perpetual points? Yeah, I heard about it. I did not read too much into it, but let me pull it up. Yeah, this was a post. Let me post this. Yeah, basically they're saying season 3 of Initial Points trilogy is ongoing and remains in full force. They have announced perpetual points. So basically this means the airdrop will continue post airdrop. Right, perpetual points will begin in early April, which tells me we're right on track for the airdrop happening in early April. Right? Basically, once they airdrop the tokens, they want people still holding the tokens. Okay. It's basically that simple. They want the incentives. Let's see what this says. Actually, let me just go to the blog post. Although there has been a lot of liquidity and people have been losing their spots in the ranking. Myself as well. I had to buy an extra HOA NFT. Okay. Okay, so continued earning opportunities. Points for activity on Parcel will persist for both LP and trading. Um, Loyalty consistency points will continue. So basically, you can keep earning points after the airdrop is basically what I'm reading into it. Now, I think I saw somebody who had a better explanation for this. Let me see if I can find it. Um, Let me see here. Yeah, so referrals are ongoing, 10 to 5%. Um, yeah, basically, if you keep on holding the HOA NFT, you still earn points. Yeah, I think it's just really an incentive program to keep people holding the token post airdrop. I see that Elia has a 94% code review. Are you bullish on it for this cycle, and what's the base case for it? Yeah, bullish on it. Definitely very solid, great technology. Um, if you look it up here, Elio, it's a privacy blockchain. Now, base case, I mean, depends on the valuation. It hasn't launched yet, so can't really assess it. But I think it's going to launch at a very high valuation. So the money's going to be made in venture. Now, will there be an airdrop? I think so, right? Basically, is build full stack private applications with the power of ZK on a layer one, right? Layer one ZK, basically. And I think right now it's the best out there in terms of ZK L1s or privacy L1s. Even better than our investments, because we invested in 10 Obscuro, which just closed the second round or third round of fundraising recently. But tech-wise, 10 Obscuro scored 89%. This scored 94%. So tech-wise, this is the best out there. There's also Aztec, which I think scored a 92%. So I mean, it's a very competitive space with a lot of formidable projects out there. But this tech-wise is incredible. But we have to just kind of wait for them to launch and see what the valuation is at. Because trying to speculate on buying this on exchanges when we don't know the valuation when it launches is kind of going to be tough. But as a swing trade, definitely I think could make money. New, shiny, sexy layer one ZK privacy project. Definitely worth keeping on your watch list. My ratings page doesn't recognize my Astrobot for about a month now. I would say, do you have multiple Astrobots? I'm not sure if that could be the issue. I think some people might have had that issue, but I would just follow up with support. I can try to check with support and see if people are having the multiple issue. But I've heard of some people who have maybe like several Astrobots in the same wallet, where it's kind of not recognizing the one they want to recognize. But let me just check with support. How can we determine if a coin without a code review from the hidden gems list is a good pick for this cycle, or is it best to wait for a code review? Good question. I mean, hidden gems means that this is worth putting on a watch list and then doing your own research or waiting for additional research. If we end up doing a code review on it, if it's open source and the code is available and it scores high on that as well, that's a pretty good indicator that it's definitely worth watching. For us, if it scores like over 85%, 85% or higher on code review and is on hidden gems, that's a pretty good sign because very few projects do that. At that point, then it's really more so, does this have the potential to do 100x? If it doesn't, then maybe we'll just look at it as a trade. If it does, then we'll look into it as a long-term investment. But hidden gems is also a good criteria for projects that are worth airdrop farming, if that's something you're doing, right? Like, for example, Koi is not open source per se, but once it was on hidden gems, we began looking into it to, one, make a small investment on venture side. So for us, if it has both fundamentals and good tech, we'll put in 1% of the portfolio. If it has only fundamentals and let's say it's not really an open source project or they won't make the code available to us to review, we'll put in maybe 0.5% of the portfolio. So it's a smaller check size, but we have to think that it will still do well. And it has to still have 100x potential because some projects are just kind of like that. Like I believe Helium early on didn't really have like open source code. It was just kind of a hardware device, right? Some projects are still worth taking a flyer on, but typically we look for other factors, right? So fundamentals, making sure that they have good runway, making sure that there's lots of interest and around. There may be a very large lead VC backing them. But all those kind of going into all that analysis. But for me, once I saw Coin Network on hidden gems, I began mining it for the airdrop. What are the best airdrops to get into? And is it too late to start trading, investing in the bull market now? I mean, the ones I'm doing, Parcel, that may be kind of late. Grass, Koi, I think those are pretty easy if you already have a computer. Actually, I did get the EtherFi airdrop, which was worth about 4K, because I've been using Gearbox and their shards to basically leverage farm for both EtherFi and EigenLayer airdrops. Then I've also begun doing Ethena, which is the synthetic dollar. All these have been on hidden gems, and I think I've shared all these in the private alerts channel. But those require some capital. If I bought on Coinbase and 15, so I'm not getting this question, but I think you're trying to say if you bought on Coinbase, the 15 coins on the 100x video, and they're dropping now due to bearish signal, how would I react to it since I'm not a trader? If you're not a trader, then just kind of see which ones you're fine holding for a year or so. Which ones are you comfortable based on the traction they have and the progress and the fundamentals and all that, holding for a year or longer? If there's one that just makes you not sleep at night, then maybe get out or take profits. But if there's one that you're pretty confident in, then HODL. If you're not following the bearish signal on the platform. What's the timeline for investing in Tokenmetrics AI token? KYC is going to be going out within a week. Then SAFs probably within a week after. Basically, we have to kind of curate the list of people that can pass KYC first. So I would say, hopefully, we'd like to have everything closed in less than a month. Because right now we basically have pretty much interest for the whole round or the tranche one. Now we have just kind of go through. We're starting with the large VCs first, or large investors first, because we have to send out sats to everybody, and we want to send out as little sats as possible, because doing everything via DocuSign is not going to be easy. So we're going to kind of first close out tranche one. So within a month is the target. Have you guys looked into AN on ELF? It was shared with our team. I'm not sure if if they finished reviewing it. Can you do a video on running a node? It seems to be profitable. For Koi, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just download the desktop app, and that's pretty much it. What do you think is a good base and moon case for Solana this cycle? And do you think it's here to stay for future cycles? Is it possible it flips Ethereum? I think it's possible. I think it's 50-50. I think it's that high. So Solana is the consumer L1. It's the normie retail L1, as it's showing with the use case of meme coins, and it's just faster. Now, Ethereum is more so, I would say, for the non-normie, people that have been in crypto for a while. They're fine paying higher gas fees, or they're fine using L2s and bridges and all that stuff. So it's more for the advanced user, I would say. In terms of where it can go, I think it's something gonna go over all-time high. But I think it can definitely flip it, but it has a good probability, 50-50, that it could flip ETH this cycle. Now it's already done well, but it can keep on doing better. Like, we're seeing a lot of projects building it on Sol. Like I told you, Grass is building an L2 on Sol. Coin Network is forking Sol to build their own layer one for AI. So they're getting developers back into their ecosystem. Where it can go from there, I think it's possible. Will it happen? Honestly, I would say just flip a coin. But then you have the Ethereum ETF, which I think will be a catalyst for ETH if that gets approved in May. Will it be a Solana ETF? Possibly. They have lots of institutional backing, but then they're called a security by the SEC, I believe. So it might be tougher, but very bullish Sol. I remember last year you were saying you were using Rollbit and Solana as your premium blue chips, and we're constantly selling low caps to buy more of both these tokens. Does that still apply? For Rollbit, no. For Solana, yes, we still have Sol. It's done well. Now we're kind of going with the market. So obviously with this new bearish signal, we also going to be auditing our portfolio again on the fund side, because it's back to being risk off. So when it was risk on, we kind of had one strategy. Now it's back to being risk off. We have to flip the strategy again. But Rollbit has, after it did 100x, hasn't really done much. I think people have kind of moved on to different narratives, to AI and meme coins. Right? Because coming here, yeah, the money was basically from here to here, here to, then it kind of came back down, and now it's back to being bearish. So it hasn't really performed well this bull run after it had a huge 100x run up. So in a way, I think it's definitely still undervalued. We've been watching it. It's under 300 million FTV. I'm not sure if it still has the same. I'm not sure why it's missing here. Just give me a minute. Now, let me see if my VPN is still on. Yeah, I've not looked at it since last year. Let me just take a look at the revenue. This dashboard. Okay, so the casino made 1.1 million in the last 24 hours. Futures made 324K. Sports made 2 million. Oh, wow. And they've burned slightly over 500,000 in the last 24 hours in tokens. I mean, so tokenomics wise, it's great. It just hasn't really performed. I think people just kind of made money and left. But I think based on the valuation, they're getting 2 million visitors a month. It's definitely still worth keeping on a watch list. We don't have it right now. So we just timed this by 30. So they're burning, let me see, just. So they're making 30 million a month from the casino, 60 million from sports. Because I think last time we looked at it, sports was not this big. And we kind of predicted sports would have an increase because of sports season. So NFL, basketball, soccer, or football, if you're not in the US. And then them burning tokens. So looking at this. So I think it's one of those you just kind of keep on a watch list. But token wise, it's not performed well after the money was made. Is it possible to invest in private rounds without being a VIP since it's difficult to get in? Unfortunately, SPP is only for the VIP plan. The only other way is just investing in the fund, Tokenomics Ventures. But minimum for that is 250K. Just email ventures@tokenomics.com for any interest. Which 2 to 3 coins do you like the most that are almost a guaranteed 10x this cycle from current prices? I think if you're targeting a 10x or more, or even 100x this cycle, you have to target new coins. I mean, I like the airdrop coins. I like Koi, I like Grass, both AI projects. Obviously, they're not launched yet. I like Parcel, hasn't launched yet. In terms of projects that are trading right now, because I've shared most of them. The ones I'm still watching, I got the EtherFi airdrop. It crashed a little bit, but it's up 24% today. That I'm not selling. If you're looking for a super low cap degen play that I'm still watching, I've covered this before. I had it, then I got out of it when the market turned bearish. Bado, an NFT AI project, it's kind of been making a comeback. Trader grade is high or going up. It's up almost 17% in trader grade, 22%. Signal turned bullish. So as a swing trade, it's up 124% in the last month. It was an NFT AI project. Let me just check something. Okay. Yeah, but this is worth what I have it on my watch list. I don't have it yet. I got out of it a while back, but I'm watching it. It's more of a low cap degen play in a sense that is promising. Across protocol, which I've played before. That's also one I like. But honestly, most altcoins should do a 10x this cycle. Because if the market's gonna do 5x, I think most new altcoins should do a 10x at minimum. Okay, sorry, just kidding. Okay, let's take a few more questions, and I think we can wrap things up here. Let me just sort this again. HiMapper is crashing as the rewards reduced for driving. How do you plan from here? Okay, so I'm guessing there was a halving with the rewards. Let's take a look. I mean, if you're trading it, it's definitely a bearish signal on the 14th. So basically kind of going with the market. So just kind of, if you're trading it, take profits. If you're in it for the long haul, hodl. Do you think Space Mesh will outperform Caspa? Yes, I do. Now, we keep on getting conflicting numbers on FTV for Space Mesh, and that's something we have to do a deeper dive on. But tech-wise, it's great tech. Is it a top 3 coin I'm most bullish on? Besides Bentley and Peak, very bullish on Peak. Parcel, very bullish on. I'll say that's probably my top 2. Space Mesh, if it's under, I believe, 200 million market cap, yes. You just have to kind of verify the claims about the FTV part. If you were to buy only 2 coins in this dip with 100x potential in the bull, which one would you buy? There will definitely be only new tokens. With 100x upsides that are publicly trading, right? Because the market has already gone up 800 billion. And a lot of projects have already pumped. So I would have to get back to you on that because I know people are going to start buying whatever I say. So I want to be more particular. But products I do like, as I mentioned, I like Parcel a lot. I like Koi, I like Grass, but all these have not launched yet. I like products that have not launched yet. Those that are trading, it's going to be tougher to get 100x in public markets right now when the market has already gone up. But I might make that part of the new video coming out. For somebody from the USA and family of 4, 2 adults and 2 kids in school, do you think making 5 million in this cycle is good enough to quit day job and get into VC investments as a full-time job from next cycle? Yeah, I mean, 5 million, you can do a lot with 5 million. If you have enough, I mean, let's say you make 5 million. not financial advice, but you store some away for a rainy day fund. You put some into yield earning assets. Could just be Ethereum staking. That's self custody or in DeFi. It could be even just through like, I'm not sure how long the rates would last or the yield would last on Ethena, the synthetic dollar, but if it's paying 60% on a million, right? That's 600K a year. Because the average VC depends on the fund, right? But let's say half a mil or less, not counting in performance fees and all that. That's pretty reasonable, but everything depends on your standard of living. If you're in the US, I think that's reasonable. But so it seems more so like angel investing. Angel investing, just figure out the average check size you want to write and just times that by at least 30. All right, so let's say you want to write check size for, let's say it's even like the SPV. All right, let's say you want to, so if you're writing 10K checks, that's 300K. You might want to have for angel investing in the bear. Okay, let me. He's still bullish in mint layer and team. Let's take a look. I've not kept tabs on them, but we still have it in our portfolio. Oh, trader grid is very, very low. Okay, I mean, so if you're trading this, definitely 50 cents was the time to get out. Okay. All right, so I think let's wrap things up there. Thank you, everybody, for being customers. Definitely be cautious. The market is kind of sum things up back to being risk off. So be very cautious, audit your portfolio. And honestly, not everything should stay in your portfolio if we're in a bearish risk off environment. All right, until next week. Thank you, everybody.